I'm ready to come.
Me too. And as we go live, perfect timing on that one. I can get it. There we go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. What's up, everybody? We are back once again. The Fandom Collective is actually live. Yes, live again. And
Alive.
last week, Angus and I gave our thoughts on Kenobi 1 and 2. I thought they were going to start releasing them on Thursday nights, but I guess they're going back to normal with Tuesday nights or whatever. But that's all good. We got Flipster back. It's been like forever since you've been live, dude. What's up?
I'm alive and live. Thank God.
Yeah, you almost done turned over and keeled over recently.
I don't know what I had. It's been suggested that it possibly could have been the coof cough, but
it's probably monkeypox.
Yeah, it must be the latest thing, you know.
Yeah,
just
got the MPs, got the packs,
monkey packs,
maybe. But yeah, so tell us what did you think of episode 1 and 2, Flip? Because we did our take last time. What did you think of episode 1 and 2, buddy?
Oh, quick rundown. At first, I went into it with an open mind. You know, we want to do that. You know, all of us that are lifelong Star Wars fans want it to be good. It was fine. The first episode, yeah, I guess it was fine. The second one was a little bit trickier, but it was okay. They didn't really seem like they needed to be made, to be honest with you. They were sort of extra.
Agreed.
Yeah. I felt myself saying, well, you know, I don't really know why, you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi is so, he's acting like he's been beat up or something. Like he emerged victorious. Just mentally, there was a tough situation to deal with. You lose your Padawan or your, you know, brother or whatever. But I mean, he's had 10 years to kind of get over that and, you know, focus on Luke and focus on getting shit right.
You think like his Jedi, you know, Force abilities anyway, or the ability to, like, you know, increase it but still mask it or something?
Of course. I mean, he's in some desert planet in the ass end of the galaxy. Like, why not, you know, keep yourself nice and sharp and honed? And then the fact that he like knew everybody, you know, he's got Jawas just kind of walking into his place like, hey, I'm here with your stuff. You know, like doesn't seem like he's really trying to hide very well. Any of those Jawas, hell, anybody would have turned over if the Empire squeezed him hard enough. So
well, that's actually a good point. Having others know exactly where he lives.
Yeah.
Instead of like him going to them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to remember them, to be honest. Like the first two episodes, like as I sit here, I'm trying to remember. They're just not memorable enough for me. Oh, the second one where he's got Leia. I've heard a couple of people complain that, you know, he needed to focus on Luke and not go off looking for Leia. And I got to be honest, I feel the same way. Like, I thought they'd have some really good reason why Leia needed his attention. But Bail Organa and his family are Imperial Senate members. Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure he could have just got the Empire to go get his little daughter. And they would have been like, yeah, no problem. So, I don't know. And then, of course, I don't like Reva's character. And, of course, something smells very funny about the way all that just happened. I caught the tail end of it yesterday. I noticed that there was this whole big deal about some racist comment or something like that. And I thought, man, this is Lucasfilm getting out ahead of people not liking their stupid show. So
yeah,
I can't help but have that influence how I felt about watching the third one today as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very odd. What's up, Red Gaze? Good seeing you, man. It says, Rook, my icon looks fucked up. There must be on the YouTube end. It must not be doing so well. I've been noticing it seems like StreamYard for some people have been kind of wacky here and there, or like at least on the YouTube and StreamYard connection. But I don't know. Do we sound okay? Red gaze at least? That'd be something. But yeah, we did watch the show. We did actually watch this trash, but it is fun to kind of make fun of, and there's a lot of memes that I think come out of it. Like there's a lot of quotable stuff that's kind of funny with it. That comes out of this stuff. And it's just, if anything, from my own prospect, it's good to learn how not to do things sometimes, or what could be done to improve something that's horrible. So
yeah,
and that type of curiosity, I don't mind watching this kind of stuff.
I mean, it could have been worse. The first 2 episodes it wasn't so bad that I was like, here we go again with the Boba Fett and Vader in, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe when Obi-Wan Kenobi gets his chutzpah back, you know, he'll show them all who the greatest Jedi is. But no, I mean,
did you like him going Batman-ish in episode 2?
What do you mean?
Like when he's like trying to find Leia?
Trying to find Leia.
Well, like he was like, you know, instead of going like, oh, can you please tell me where she is? He like just goes straight to like punch the dude and like pull out a gun.
Oh yeah. Well, at least he was a little bit more tough, but he did have a lightsaber, so
which that seems kind of counterintuitive to hiding.
Well, true. Maybe using the Force a little bit more.
It's like I assume that he would have learned how to like maybe use the Force more discreetly, so that it's like not as obvious that he's using the Force all the time while he's in hiding.
Yeah,
a little easier to disguise himself and whatnot. I gotta let my fucking cat out. She's gonna bug the shit out of me while she's on here. So you guys want to take over for a sec with your thoughts, real quick. He said, think he'll be able to find some high ground again in the fight. That should never happen. No, but he does find his face in the dirt. So there's that. All right, take it away.
Now, what do you think, Angus? Those first 2 episodes,
it's par at best. It's mediocre for my prequel. You know what I'm going to get a kick out is all these people out of nowhere that are Disney shows are going to pretend they were always loving the prequels and Ewan, when it's like that's my Star. That's why I'm a Star Wars fan, is the prequels, and that's almost, I'd say 90+% of all my Star Wars merch is prequel stuff. And I was always here. I was sad when Lucas sold, but hopeful about, you know, Disney keeping it going. And besides Mando and I guess Fallen Order, I'm just like, God, I regret ever rooting for that. This show, I'd rather be mad watching Last Jedi than watching this crap, because it's not like, well, this is just totally idiotic. It's just like there's no balls to this show. There's nothing gravitating besides little Leia. I hate Princess Leia, and they got me like gritting my teeth. It's like, I like her in this show. She's a cute little girl.
Yeah, I think she is good. I do like.
I despise Leia, and they're making me like her in this show. Never expected that. You know, and I like how people are like, oh, it's only 2 episodes in about Reva. It's like, well, how much do I gotta watch before my criticism is not racism?
It's also 2 out of 6 episodes. That's almost
now we're halfway
episodes.
through. We're halfway through, and I still hate her.
It's not like Game of Thrones where they have development over 10 episodes.
Yeah, like, you know, if you show someone the first season of Game of Thrones with Jamie, and you're like, oh yeah, by the end of this, you're probably gonna love this guy. And you're like, yeah, right. And it's like, wow, you're totally right. Yeah, the key plot point spoilers seem completely accurate thus far. You know, I'd rather watch the last episode. I liked Boba Fett, aside from the Vespas, in the last episode. Really liked it. I'd rather watch episode 7 of that show. I'd rather watch the sequel trilogy than the show. I'd rather go back and watch freaking Rebels with stupid ass Chopper. So at least I'm irritated. At least I'm feeling something. This is just like, all right, stuff's happening, and like, who cares?
Cringe happens faster in those shows where it's like, oh, cringe now, oh, cringe again, cringe again, fuck. It's like,
Yeah, I'm just
onslaught.
so unfeeling with this show.
They're just boring.
It's like, oh, we're watching. You should never. There's something wrong when you're watching Star Wars. It's like, oh, I'm watching a Star Wars. Not like, wow, this is so awesome. They're adding new, or wow, this totally ruined Star Wars. It's just like, well, yeah, this is Star Wars. It's milquetoast. It's lukewarm,
Yep.
and it's sad because you got a uniting character and actor where it's like, you could love the prequels or you could totally hate them, but everyone's kind of like in unison about Ewan being Obi-Wan. And I've always said Ewan's why Obi-Wan's actually interesting, because the original trilogy Obi-Wan sucks. Alec Guinness, great actor, but I don't get the appeal of him in the, he's just a ghost. And he's kind of an ass. And he's like, oh, a certain point of view. It's like he's kind of not helpful.
He's like in a video game, like a guidance character, kind of.
Yeah. So for everything you could do with this show, it's like they worked to not make it interesting, to not make it riveting. And yeah, I don't get this deflection of like, oh, people say this Yale trained actress is bad. Like, you realize Steven Spielberg failed film school. Like, your education doesn't mean anything about your talent.
Yeah.
So I get it, and the fact that they have this like ready in the Star Wars accounts, like hitting at racisms, it's come full bore. They've learned from Kelly Marie Tran. Now they're ready for it.
Yeah.
But for that to be a talking point from the Star Wars account about the show, and not just like, wow, this show's so awesome, come see the new episode. They never said this about anyone crapping on Boba Fett, and he's arguably more oppressed because he's like a native tribe, whatever, from New Zealand.
Well, there's the other dozen people, that you could pick out that are, important, like Mace Windu, Lando, and just Finn, all these other characters. It's like, yeah, that's total racism, totally.
Yeah, I hate Reva. I hope Vader brutalizes her at the end of the show. No, I hope the Asian brother just chops her all to pieces and feeds her to
he
a
chops off
titty
her
monster.
fingers, and then he chops off her toes, and then he chops off her feet, and then her hands, and then her arm. It's like just a slow, choppy fast.
I want him to feed her to a titty monster.
Yes, I agree. What's up, Night's End? Good coming by. What do you guys think? Chop her up to a titty monster? Sounds good to me. I would say. Angus and I were talking about like the fart monster, the fart animal, the fart camel, or whatever. That's like on Tatooine. The the little that camel thing. Like it's got to be related to the camel on crate or some shit. Like they seem like similar species in a way.
Yeah.
There's one guy really fat and really into it, and the other one's like, nah, it's gonna fart all day. But anyway, so does that?
Oh, there's one thing. There's one thing. Pause. I want to say is if some people are like, oh, they're Jake Skywalker and Obi-Wan. It's like, well, given the point in his story, I don't mind it. I think the Jake Skywalker idea is not bad with the right context. I think this is a perfect context to put a character like Obi-Wan in the dumps and make him question his whole existence.
I would agree with that if it were the first 5 years. But I mean, 10 years into it, he should sort of be. Okay, so he says to Owen, he says, well, the boy must be trained. When he's old enough, he must be trained. That tells me that in his mindset, he's been honing the Force, and he's been watching Luke and waiting for the moment that he can actually begin training him. But it contradicts the fact that he's totally not been practicing the Force at all. And he's scared to use the Force, That's the only problem I have with it.
No, I can see that, but no, that's an inconsistency in the show's deliverance. But
especially if he wants to train Luke at some point, you'd think he'd want to at least keep his skills at what they were.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Were you gonna finish? Were you gonna say anything else, Angus?
Oh no, he makes a point, and it's like, so
You kind of like faded in and out, in and out. You said he makes a point, and then I couldn't hear anything. Can you hear him, Flip?
I can't. I'm sorry.
I can hear like noises coming in and out. Yeah, he'll come back.
I'll try and coming back.
He'll either come back in a sec, or he'll try on the phone or something.
But for the most part, I agree with Angus. I mean, using that Jake Skywalker type of character, you know, in the right context makes sense, and this is a good context for that sort of character arc.
Yeah,
and like I was saying,
yep. I got Angus on the phone here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With it, so he'll be joining us through speakerphone on my end.
Okay. Well, I was just saying I agree with him for the most part, except the difference is that there's a contradiction that the writers made. That's all.
Yeah. Can you hear Flip okay, Angus?
no.
You might have to have the stream up on your end, maybe. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get my speaker here. If I don't have my headphones in, I'm wondering how this will all sound. So this should be fun. So just a sec.
Hackwood style Tatooine Planets live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, but read Red Gaze's comment here, and then I'll fix my mic here.
You think Disney would know how to do a show about an old dude creeping on a young boy correctly? Yeah. Right, Red Gaze. Absolutely. They've had some experience with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you hear Flip now, or speak some more, Flip?
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, I hear him.
You hear him? Okay, cool. I'm gonna
boop boop. I'm talking about pee pee.
Here we go. All right, I'm increased the volume on my laptop and on my phone, so we shall be able to hear each other.
Okay.
Yes. I can hear
fun. This will be fun. Yeah, so I guess let's start with Kenobi. This episode came out in episode 3. I was like, oh, it's out already. I thought they did a really weird release schedule by doing it on Thursday night last week with the first 2 episodes, and then this week on Tuesday night with this next episode, and then I assume the next 3 will be on Tuesday nights, I guess.
Probably, yeah. It makes you feel like they just wanted it over with or something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But so this one started with Obi-Wan like sitting and thinking, and like thinking about the past, I guess, thinking about Anakin. Yeah, I guess it was something as like Vader is getting his suit on and getting dressed.
Yep. Oh, I like the Vader. Well, I watched it twice today. Once just because randomly this morning I had a moment to do so, but the second time was knowing that we were going to talk about it. And I still feel like this episode is okay up until the end, really. So I like the part where we get to hear Vader's voice again, speaking to Reva. It does sound really crisp and very, well, the best I've heard it in a long time. And I thought that the Mustafar look was cool. You've got his force tuning fork, castle there going on. It looked pretty tough. I liked it. I wanted to like this, man. I really wanted to like it. I was so glad to see Vader back. Yeah, for me, it wasn't until the end there, but I like that. I liked the beginning. If it had went differently, I know that I would have liked this show. It's the ending that, at least the ending of this episode, that really torqued me off.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, with like the first scene here, so Vader walks up to talk to Reva, and he's like, "I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor." You said you watched it twice. Did they confirm that Grand Inquisitor is dead, or they kind of skipped over confirming that?
You know what? They didn't. I couldn't tell if they were trying to confirm that he's dead or just like side skirt the issue, because that is a major fucking plot hole. That is a major plot hole. So no, they weren't real clear about it. I think on purpose, but I don't think we'll know until much later in the show. Next
Probably
week.
there'll probably be an end credit scene. Oh, he's alive.
Yeah, he'll be in Boba Fett's back tank.
Yeah, probably. Why not? Why not? AA's talking to Reva. He's like, "Oh, I've been watching you, and if you do well here, then I will get you what you want." And I don't know, the way that she didn't really respond, I was like, "Well, is like he's like, you want to be Grand Inquisitor?" And it's like, does she? Because she didn't like respond visually.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing where it's like, well, that's because that's what her character doesn't want it, or if it's just she just forgot to emote anything.
What the hell does her character want? I don't even know why she's in this. Like,
Yeah, Angus, explain. Why is she in this, Angus?
Oh, because black.
I like how the audio comes out of my things. It's like I'm saying, she's black.
No, honestly, like she's completely shoehorned into the show. It would make, it's the fact that you have an Inquisitor, but then he's a Mystric, at least so far, and you got Vader. It's this little thing, but it's really, it's what she want to get back at Obi-Wan specifically for his, I guess, ultimate failure, because you'd think she'd be after Yoda too, or I don't know. It's unclear, and she's not gravitating. And the other thing is, like I showed Rookie to kind of explain my point, the lack of interest with the Sith, with Disney especially, is like, what's the point? Like, when you watch, like, Anakin wants to save his woman, Sidious, like, just loves being bad, Dooku thinks it's an ends to a mean to an end, whatever, for his ideal purpose in life, whatever. But these, like, Inquisitors that aren't even actually Sith, it's just like they're just droll. They're not named. Like, I'm going to do bad stuff, but I'm not having fun doing bad stuff. Like, well, what are you getting out of this?
Yeah.
They'll seem like it's a chore, and they're determined to do it, but there's like no motivation as to why. Like, even a child that has to clean their room, like, they typically, because like if they clean the room, they can go outside or something. Like, I have no idea what these Inquisitors. The way Angus put it while we're watching is like they're Sith LARPers.
Yeah, that's I like the title. Like
they're live action role playing as Sith, because like the one Asian dude's like he tries to sound pretty tough, yeah. And it sounds like he's out of Mortal Kombat, like your soul is mine.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Really trying, and then Reva's just, I will get you, Obi-Wan! I'm angry. And then the other chick's like, I'm here. And the Grand Inquisitor's like in the back of the tank or something. And it's like, man, y'all are pathetic. And he's like, yeah, of course. They're like pretending to be Sith because they're not actually Sith. They're the bench warmers.
They're LARPing.
As Angus put it. Yeah, I'm like, that is perfect. That is what this is.
And it's sad. Like, it's bad enough that the writers didn't give Reva any like motivation, but that they got actors and director, I guess the director, Deborah Chow, to create this Sith LARPing situation like you're talking about, Angus.
Pretty much.
It's bad. It's really, it. Even if I'm so glad they haven't put Darth Maul in this, because they'd just ruin his character too, I think.
Probably.
But even still, if he was in this, I think he'd be even better than.
It's like at least visually he's interesting, even if he doesn't say anything. It's like, hey, look,
Yeah.
That's about. He'd look more interesting than any of these fucks. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, they don't look interesting. Okay, so in comparison to the rebel counterparts, what do you think of these Sith LARPers?
I mean, I didn't really care for the rebel ones either, but I guess they had more agency then. They kind of seemed like they're trying to, like, they didn't have a vendetta against the Jedi specifically. It's just like they're trying to either survive or something. Like there's something else there, sort of, but still kind of to me. But yeah.
I think there's a reason George Lucas never created the Inquisitors. So
Red Gay says Biden is more alive than this franchise.
oh my god.
That's a good one, man.
Sad but true.
But yes, she walks up to, so after she talks with Vader, she goes to the Inquisitor home base chill room, and I didn't actually understand the sequence of events that happens here. It's like she walks in, I think she's about to sit down or something, but then the Asian dude's like, no, and he like uses the force on her to like sort of force her forward onto the table, but not really. And then he's like, don't sit there, because I might want to sit there or something. Then she's like, okay, but Vader told me to lead the thing, unless you want me to follow you instead. Yeah, send out the probes or droids or something. And it's like, okay. Like, what the fuck happened in that scene? Like, I was just like, what?
Yeah. I my second time watching it, I still couldn't understand why it was written or acted that way at all. And it's so funny that the fourth brother or whatever his name is, the guy who looks like he's wearing a fucked up revolutionary hat, he does overact. It reminds me of that admiral on General Grievous's ship, and he's like, "What's the situation, Captain? 3 Jedi are in the hangar bay." It's like just.
Well, see, I prefer, like, it's like, do I want someone to underact like they're just off the street like this Reva bitch, or do I want a guy that's like, I'm a menacing Sith library?
Yeah, I'll take the funny, you know. I'm trying to do the voice here, okay? Like, I'd rather have that than, guys, send the probes. Fuck. Like, it's just so weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. And so, like, seriously though, Angus, like, what happened in the Inquisitor scene here? It's just like she just walks in. He's like, "Don't sit down, fuck you," and then she's like, "Send out the droids." That's like all that happens in that scene, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just like we didn't even need this scene at all. Just get rid of it. And where do we go from there? We go to the farm planet.
I think when we're
Mining planet.
we're back with Obi-Wan and Leia, right?
All right, yeah, they're walking. It's I gotta admit, it's not as cute as like Mando and Baby Yoda. I'll admit, like I don't even like Mando and Baby Yoda and shit, but that looks like a more iconic kind of duo, just in general, just the grown person and toddler thingy. I would have preferred that. Just I don't know. I'm glad the landscape was sort of different than they've been to in Disney Star Wars anyway, but it's not impressive. But still, so I thought it was weird. He's talking and he's like, this whole village, this like whole planet had like people and villages or something, and now the Empire, and now it's all gone. And I'm like, I don't see any remnants of any like anything. It's just fields or or whatever. I'm like, you know, you'd think there'd be like some wood on the ground or houses burnt down or something. Right. There's like nothing. I'm like, I don't. Were they supposed to CGI in something and forgot, or like
they might have forgot?
Because there's just open planet. I'm like, I don't think it would just go biodegrade into the earth that fucking quick. Not with future technology. No. There'd be remains.
Yeah, scorched earth, motherfucker.
Like it's not. It's like this is kind of a nitpicky thing, but like it just seemed weird that they're taking time and dialogue to explain. He's like explaining to Leia devastation of things from the Empire, which she's lived a sheltered life. So maybe seeing things up close would be different, but there was like no chaos or destruction or like people scrounging. But that's what it sounded like Kenobi was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, unless I guess, did you like get a different vibe from that, or just he just randomly saying words? Like,
I don't care enough to have an opinion on this point.
Okay, it's just that's kind of the thing. It's like it's just useless dialogue he's just saying, and I thought it would have been interesting if it was like, you know, more showing her the grit of what the Empire has done and people's survival. That's where she has lived like a sheltered little happy life on Alderaan. You know, that'd be interesting for her development as a character into the character we see in A New Hope. But no, they just kind of didn't do anything with that. Would have been neat though. And then was there any meaningful conversation in this? He sort of like sees Anakin, but he's not there. Like a little phantom. He's like, oh. And then they just continue walking.
No, not that I can think of. That one also notable strange moment that I noted. You had that weird guy that picks him up in his, you know,
Mole Man.
Huh?
Mole Man.
Yeah, that mole man thing, right? He picks him up and then picks up some other stormtroopers, right? And you figure this is the part where Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to get caught. He's sitting in the back, you know, with them and everything. And you think, well, he'll probably have to use like one of those force mind tricks or something. Of course, that never happens, even though he could have. Did 2 different times in that little ride. Okay, but then the guys get dropped off, and the mole man still doesn't believe that Obi-Wan and his Leia are you know, telling the truth. So he goes out and searches for even more stormtroopers. This would have been a great time to, you know, maybe show him use the Force, or, you know, little less exposition, because I mean, you're not really setting much up. So for my experience here, this whole next section that we're talking about with the, you know, with the stormtroopers was a big waste of time.
Yeah, I agree. It was a waste of time for sure. What do you think, Angus?
It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what's kind of. Angus and I were kind of just talking over it a little bit, and it's like I feel like I got whatever they were saying, but they weren't saying anything important. It's just like, well, I guess like, so like when the stormtroopers come onto the thing, what I wanted was more of like, you know, his ability to blend in a little bit. Like he seems like he was always super tense around stormtroopers, like almost too obviously. And he's dressed as a Jedi, like obviously as well. Hey, why are you wearing robes, man? Like, it's kind of like a Jedi. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you cosplaying. A little odd. Nothing too bad. Nothing too bad here, I guess. But it's still just mundane and just pointless. Like I feel like all the dialogue was useless. Like he calls her Leia, and he's like, "Hey, hold on." There's like a 3-second pause. I thought you said her name was something else. It's like, oh, that was her mother's, and I see her in her, and then it's like, oh, this is like the first acknowledgement I think in a while of Padme, I guess.
Second, technically, but yeah.
And then it's like, okay, but that doesn't really do anything either, so we just move on. And it's like, this is kind of stupid. It's just,
it is.
Okay, so these are scenes, I guess. Like technically, they would qualify as scenes, but they don't like accomplish anything.
Yeah,
as far as the plot, I don't even think they moved it forward, even after they have that little fight at the checkpoint. And I like how he's trying to get the red lasers down, and it's like there's literally you can just walk around it or jump over it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, oh, the button's not working. Kind of funny.
No, it felt like the whoever wrote that dialogue where he has to get away from the idea that it's, oh, well, he made the mistake of calling her Leia. Whoever wrote that, where it leads into after those stormtroopers leave and Leia says to him, "Did you know my mother?" Or whatever. I got the impression that all that was just set up so that she could say that. And all of that was so that at the end of Return of the Jedi, Leia could say, "I barely remember my mother, just flash. It's really." So, I mean, I felt like they probably patted each other on the back for that dialogue. When I was watching it, I was thinking, I bet they think this is good dialogue.
I guess. I mean, I don't even know what they were hoping for with it because it's so pointless. Still, overall, it's just like, eh. And then so the more stormtroopers arrive, and Obi-Wan's like, "Fuck, I guess we're fucked." It's kind of weird. Just I feel like Obi-Wan's faced way higher, like way worse odds than that. And he's like, "Oh, guess we're fucked." And it's like, oh wow, like it's not only like that you might be caught, and then Luke would be fucked, and you're just like, ah, fuck it, I give up. Just it seemed weird there. And then he gets saved by the rebel spy chick. Just kind of like, okay, like
Yeah,
maybe he was gonna do something, but it seems like he forgets that he can use the Force sometimes, and or anything, and it's like, okay, you know, it didn't seem like there's that many stormtroopers. Like, what was it, less than a dozen?
right. And he had a lightsaber. I mean,
I can see like if he doesn't want Leia to be harmed at that moment. I can get that. She could get hit in the crossfire maybe, but like,
but he literally
know.
shoots next to her head.
I feel like when he was in the grit of war with like droids and a whole bunch of different things happening at once, this would be an easy situation.
Right. Plus, I mean, he freaking has a lightsaber and the Force. Like, all he had to do was just, I mean, he lets that droid, ID him. Why would you do that? You're standing there. The guy's like, raise your head. I'd be like, I'd crush that freaking droid, maybe even crush well, that's not a Jedi power, right? They don't crush, but
I mean, technically the Force, you can crush, you can technically use the Force to crush things. I would say it's just an extension of their telekinesis or whatever.
Yeah. There's no need to be ID'd by the droid. I mean, he would have avoided that. I just feel like he would have avoided that much. Very weird. Very, very weird. It's almost as if the writers don't understand Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Any commentary, Angus?
No, I agree. They don't. Like, I'm going to get kicked seeing people like, wow, this first fight with Obi-Wan and Vader, wow, like, I've never seen a better Star Wars. It's like, so we would crap on the prequel fights, the choreography, right? They're going to fake adoration for this, like, fan film.
Like, I give fan films better credit because, and trust me, I've seen a lot of fan films of Star Wars lately, and it's like, there's way better sequences. The fan film that is premiering tonight on the Fandom Collective with me and Justin Proper's commentary, like, the choreography in that is fucking great. Like, I'd take that over this. That was like a 5-minute one.
Yeah. I bet
and yeah, so like, well, so I'm getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but it's like, so what happens next? So after Rebel Spy Chick commandeers them or whatever, helps them out, they go to some town. And I feel like they just kind of meander for a while. Does anything happen for the next 20 minutes? Like what happens next? I just watched this less than like 2 hours ago, but it's like nothing happens.
Nothing.
Like no meaningful dialogue, no interesting stuff. I think Vader decides I will go to that planet because droid was crushed or something, and like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's probably there, I guess. And then I guess that was pretty much that, right?
Yeah, they're sneaking around that little town, and you get introduced to that weird lumbering droid that doesn't talk. And they make a real big deal out of the fact that the droid doesn't talk. And repeat this a couple of times for no real reason. You think it's going to pay off later, but it never really does. And then
is it supposed to imply that somebody ripped out its vocal cords or something? It's like, oh no, it's I don't know.
I don't get the setup there.
The harassment of droids is so severe.
Droid rights. We are sentient. But yeah, so there's that. And then what happens after that? Then Vader comes to town at night.
Yeah, what were they doing in the house? Just chilling?
Well, they were saying that they had lots of places like that around the galaxy to smuggle Jedi and children and Force sensitives and stuff. So that was just one of those little areas, apparently.
No, that was an Angus. Yeah, Angus was like, "Oh, there's teasing for more Jedi that might have survived." And I was like, okay.
And Angus is Angus still here?
Yeah, Angus.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There's not as much to comment on yet, and we're almost over with the episode. This is actually it's our fastest breakdown fucking ever. Our last one we did like 3 hours doing the 2 episodes.
Right.
So yeah, we're here, we're in the safe house thing, and they're like, Angus, does anything happen? You watched it twice. Is there any like meaningful dialogue or anything that happens while they're at this like safe house?
No.
Just like they're like staring at plants or something. They're just looking around, and then oh no, it's nighttime, and yeah, and then Vader arrives. They're about to go through the tunnel. Then he's like about to have a vertigo attack or something, and then it's like, oh no, I sense him. Yeah, oh, fuck. And then like he's got a Harry Potter moment or something with like a scar and Voldemort, and
like the music goes off.
And then everybody's clearing a path for Vader, and it's like, oh boy. And then he just starts randomly killing people. Angus and I were laughing at this part. This was funny. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna yank him out of his house, this guy, and then look to do, and then snap his neck, and then gonna drag this other guy behind me with the Force, and then this and that. And I'm like, is this supposed to be comedic or intimidating? Because it's presented as intimidating, like, oh fuck, but it's funny. Like it's just silly. It's just silly. I was like, oh yeah, he's just dragging him in the dirt, and then he like kills him, I guess, and then like knocks other things over, sort of, and just like, okay. Yeah, I thought it would have been funny if like a little kid's like, Vader, I'm your biggest fan. You remind me of a youngling. Fucking kills him.
Yeah, it was terrible. That was terrible. It's like if someone is trying to tell you to be scared, like, ooh, this is scary, isn't it? Look how scary this is. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so bad.
These are the fights of the century, Flip, remember? That was it's supposed to be bigger than Godzilla Kong, the rematches of Vader and Obi-Wan.
Right. Man, that was so bad. So bad. I kept thinking to myself, I think, like, I know what they're trying to do. I think I know what they're trying to do. And I kept thinking it will change. Like he's going to cause Obi-Wan to jump out and say, please don't do that, Anakin. You know, but that would have been an improvement. But even that would have been pretty bad.
I was about to say, yes, that would have been a little odd. But like, I thought it would have been more interesting. There's a lot of things they could have maybe done. Like, you know, I don't know. It's still having Vader here at all, I think is kind of stupid. Like the way all this happened is kind of dumb. And then like, so Obi-Wan's just kind of watching him for like a good 2 minutes, just walk through the town, just waltz through. And they're all just kind of standing there, just watching. And then he goes, okay, now Leia, we got to go. You guys go. I'm going to go over here, I guess. And then he kind of tries to walk away, I guess. And then Vader's standing randomly somewhere and ignites his lightsaber. And Obi-Wan's like, well, never mind. I'm going to run away now. and then Vader's like, okay, I guess I'll chase you. And then, I don't know, Obi-Wan like stops after 2 seconds and is out of breath. And then he turns around and he's like, he like hears Vader. He's like, oh no, I'm scared, sort of. And then, I don't know, Vader's like, you're weak because you're old or something. What was the dialogue, Angus? Or Flip? What was the dialogue here? It's just, to me, it just sounded, it registered as generic dialogue. Nothing really significant was said.
Well, it didn't help that the music was like made for TV, music.
Stock music, basically, or pretty low quality. Just like, yeah, it's music, sure, but.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, are they running through a junkyard or like a trash pit? Like I couldn't figure out what they were running.
Just weird dirt hills.
Yeah, dirt hills. Like not
stuff randomly around.
Exactly.
They said mining, so I guess I don't know if any of that was evidence of mining at all because it's just random stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get. I mean, you're right. They did say it was a mining town, but I didn't get that impression. Like my brain must have forgot that or something.
And nothing visually said mining town.
Right. Or even presented danger of any kind. Like, I know
even like episode 2, people might rip on episode 2 on like, of Attack of the Clones, but it's like, when Anakin and Padme are trying to get through the Geonosis factory, it's like there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff that they got to be aware of while they're fighting Geonosians and stuff. It's like that's interesting. There's more. The environment themselves is like the setting is something they have to worry about.
Mm-hmm. It should definitely play a part when it comes to a lightsaber duel. The environment should be a big deal.
Yeah, at least if they're trying to have a memorable scene, because this was just.
Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible.
It looked like a homeless man was trying to fight Darth Vader.
Yeah. He tells Kenobi he's weak, and I'm thinking, yeah, this whole fucking thing is weak.
Yeah, I'm just like, every single dialogue is just generic. I'm just like, man, this is just all that you're saying. You're like, you are weak, and you should have killed me, and I hate you and stuff, and I don't like you, so I'm gonna fight you, and you should suffer too, I guess. And
yeah, and let's not forget. Remember when he finally realizes in A New Hope that I felt a presence I've not felt since, and then shortly thereafter he's like, when I left you, I was but a learner. Now I'm the master. Well, he looked kind of like the master to me, and Obi-Wan looked like a little learner.
Right here, yeah, Obi-Wan looks like a little boy. Oh, don't hurt me, Master Vader.
Exactly.
Angus, I want to share your thoughts on this little. I guess we categorically call it a duel, but I don't know. Angus.
It was. I'd rather watch Rise of Skywalker than this.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all that can be said. It's just like, okay, and then Vader just like kind of force chokes, lifts Obi-Wan in the air. I guess he's fucked, and then I don't know, some powder gets spilled on the ground, and then
what was
Vader
Vader
ignites it. I don't know, spice maybe. I don't know. Why not?
The show is inconsequential. Like, oh no, what will happen to Obi-Wan? I hope he makes it. Oh no, what will happen to Vader? I hope he makes it. Like, all it is, the only like value is like these background characters, these Sith LARPers, like, oh, which Inquisitors will die? Oh, will Grand Inquisitor actually be alive? And because the thing with killing an Inquisitor, if he's actually dead, you retcon the EU, and everything you make now is all part of the story group, has to fit it all together. The toy blurbs, the video games, the comics, everything has to like fit in continuity now.
Like I said, my thought is if that person's dead, then they'll just say that was the Inquisitor's little brother that was filling in for him while he was on vacation. That's all that was. It's not the real Grand Inquisitor. That's his little brother.
Well, yeah, but like they included Harrison Dula's ship in Rise of Skywalker. They like have Easter egg acknowledging her.
Who?
In Rogue One, the pilot from Rebels.
No.
So like, you know, they've made conscious little efforts of, you know, intertwining a little bit. Saw Gerrera, you know, he's in Clone Wars, and then Rogue One, and then, you know, the Rebel show. So for like the big crescendo in season 1 of like the Inquisitor fails and he like jumps to his death because he's like, oh, I failed, so Vader's gonna come. And he's like, some things are worse than death, and he kills himself.
Right.
Now it's like, oh yeah, that didn't happen, but like that's like there's a lot of stuff that is pertinent to the Star Wars lore of Disney with that show. So then when you're retconning his death and you have no knowledge of his intertwinement with those characters, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no hook. There's no like, oh, we're really gonna shock you today with the ending. It's like such a waste. It's like Solo, you know. You need to make the focus about someone he cares about that we don't know where they fit in the story. The story of Solo should have focused on Kira, and maybe after whatever do more. But when you make it like, oh, Solo, and he's got this side chick, and we'll like jump in on her story for a couple of minutes, it's underwhelming. The same with this. It's like, oh, we're worried about Obi-Wan with his mission with Leia. It's like, I don't know if she'll make it. She's just in not 6 other movies.
Yeah. I don't. To me, it would make more sense if Luke had been abducted. But what do I know? I'm just a lowly fan, ex-fan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's like I was okay with Vader like trying to burn Obi-Wan, kind of like that's like a very like you left me to burn, fuck you, man. I get like that's something, but the way it all happened in this setting and it's episode 3 and all this time, like it's just like it all felt worthless. And I'm like, oh well, that chick's probably gonna save him. Oh yeah, she does. And then so she saves him, and he's a little pussy.
But how does she save him?
She like shoots one stormtrooper, and then she shoots like so the fire dissipated, and then she like shot something, and then the fire returned, and then Vader just kind of fucked off, and that was like right. There's no reason why he left. He's just like, I guess I'm going away now.
Yeah, like he was 10 feet away from Obi-Wan. Like, what? Use the Force.
He could have just walked right through the fire. He's all robotic now and shit. Like, I think he'd be okay.
What the fuck, dude? It was so weird.
Like, he's literally got burnt by lava. I think this little fire here would be nothing.
I think it'd be okay. When that girl shoots the fire or whatever the hell she shoots, it's like if you watch it again, look at the stormtroopers looking around like, where'd that come from? I couldn't possibly have
yeah, they look all around them. It's like it came from one fucking direction, dude. Like I thought it would have been funny. I thought what was gonna happen was like she kills that one stormtrooper, then Vader like just fucking launches her into the fire, like or crushes her in the air, like with the Force, like compresses her into one, like in Days of Future Past or some shit. It's like, oh fuck, that would have been nice. Crumble her. It's like, no, I guess we're going away from Obi-Wan now, I guess. It's just like, wow, this is really lame. This is really lame.
He's 10 feet from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's like, I don't know where he is. What? That was so fucked up. And then, of course, she shoots again the second time. And then it shows the stormtroopers looking around again like, what?
Well, that's what I was saying. She shot the stormtrooper, killed him, and then she shoots the, like, barrel of powder fire or something, and then... Yeah. And then they're like, oh, fuck, where is that still coming from? After 2 shots, we still can't deduce. I mean, I know we can't aim very well. We should be able to find where a shot came from. Like, it's pretty simple.
It was terrible.
It's like, what else happens in the show? Is that's the end of the episode? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Leia is, like, in the tunnel, and then the one chick's like, oh, I'm going to capture you now, okay? All right. And that's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, she's sitting there saying, you're going to be okay, Obi-Wan. And
yeah, well, and then Leia gets captured, I was saying.
Oh, then Leia gets captured. Right. By Reva.
Reva's just like, I'm going to kidnap you now. Okay.
So now why is Reva going after Leia now?
I don't know why she's of interest now after the whole point of her was to bring out Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Like, shouldn't she be there next to Vader being like, get him, Anakin?
Yeah, here, use my lightsaber to, cut his other arm off. I don't know.
Yeah, and then this chick, there's like 3 major plot holes I can pick out in just these first. They've blown a plot hole in each episode. And another one is that Reva shouldn't know a damn thing about who Anakin is.
I think they imply that, that she was one of the younglings that survived or whatever, that they didn't kill. Because in episode 1, they show like a group of younglings not killed.
Yeah. Well, I
think we're supposed to assume that those are the Inquisitors.
I think they should make it a little bit more clear because I wouldn't have thought about that.
Well, no, I agree because they've had no meaningful connection to that scene. As far as we know, that scene just shows that Order 66 happened and then that was it. That had no purpose to the show. Yeah. But I assume that the not showing those younglings get killed. And then we have Inquisitors in this show. That's their way of saying that we have Inquisitors in the show.
Yeah,
we have the LARPers.
I am so disappointed. But of course, going into this, we had multiple conversations about this, guys. We kind of knew what to expect, I guess. I was just hoping it'd be different.
Yeah, it's like I keep on hoping that like there's or not really hope. It's just I would imagine there's some skilled, talented people that work for Lucasfilm and like can have some of that go under and be in the final cut of like, wow, okay, this sequence was done all right, or this section of dialogue makes sense and was done well. But it's like extremely rare that any of that happens ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, is there anything else that happens at Flip in this episode? That was all that happened in this whole episode, right? It was basically Obi-Wan and Leia are on this mining planet, and then Vader goes there, and they fight, sort of, but then they just kind of go away for no reason. And then Leia gets captured again.
Yeah, it's pretty lackluster and disappointing.
It's just like even like I feel like they're really trying to go, how can we make Obi-Wan look like a douchebag and incompetent? Because it's like, so they already showed the stuff in the last few episodes, and then like where he was like, oh, I'm not gonna I'm gonna turn away that Jedi. I'm going to stand by while people are being threatened about Jedi. I'm going to I'm gonna go try to save Leia, and there's gonna be shenanigans there, and I got lucky to get bailed out at that point by Reva and the Inquisitor or whatever, a little squabble. And then like here he's like, oh, he basically got his ass kicked by Vader and lost Leia.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is episode 3 into this show, and it's like, is there going to be more shit like this? Or like, from what the leaks were saying, there's definitely going to be more where he's more incompetent. And it's like, wow, did they really make this show to praise Obi-Wan in any way? Because it seems like it's just made to shit out of him so far.
Well, let's not forget that they had all the episodes already written, and they were like, oh, these are great. Remember, it was like a few years ago at Celebration that what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy, came out and was like, yes, we've got Ewan McGregor back, and we've got everything ready to go. And then it wasn't but like a few weeks later they were like, oh, well, we've got to redo some episodes. It didn't turn out the way we liked in the writing. Like, so they went back. They either had something that was much better and decided to purposely fuck it up, or something that was much worse, and this is the best they got.
Yeah. Red Gaze says, listening to you guys talk about this is a lot like watching those STD videos from health class in high school. Abstinence works. I agree, Red Gaze. I agree.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's what's funny, too. That's all we got to say about this episode. There's really nothing else to talk about with it. There's no substance in this episode to talk about. Whatever we talked about was us. We break down scenes very in depth. We go into the nitty gritty. Like I said, last episode was 3 hours discussing 2 episodes. That was more. There's a lot of preamble to it as well. But like, we were able to dissect more of the scenes, even though they were still kind of dumb. But like, there was things sort of going on enough to merit a discussion of some kind. This is like nothing really happened, and then Obi-Wan got his ass kicked, and Vader was there, and Leia got on. That's about it. You can practically just skip this episode, I feel, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're, then again, this whole series isn't necessary to watch either, because we know what. Prequel shows don't, in movies, like, they aren't inherently bad, but they are inherently difficult to make interesting with investment. So what they fail to do, they keep on putting the characters we know will survive in perils, and it's really dumb to do that because we know they're gonna fucking live. But like, if you have other characters or other plot pieces, like in the prequels, like even like the speeder chase on Coruscant, it's like, I'm not worried about like Anakin or Obi-Wan's safety, but like they have importance to the mission, and so it's like you got to catch this thing, and if they get away, you're fucked, kind of a thing. So it's like the situation is tense, and you want them to catch it, and they just tried to kill Padme. So it's like that's like there's investment there in that way. There's tension in that sense, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like here, it's just, oh, is Obi-Wan gonna die? Is Leia gonna die? Is something? Yeah, it's like no, and no. Like They're all going to be fine, hunky dory by the end of the show, I guess.
Yeah, there was no investment, even though it is prequel. There's no investment of any kind, and they're not even trying. Like, because you make a good point. Is the bad guy going to get away? That is the investment from the scene you were talking about. But now, in this, they're not even making it, work. Like the whole ending of this episode, where Anakin Vader is literally 10 feet away from Obi-Wan Kenobi on the ground and lets him go. Like, I can't wrap my head around this.
Well, they would answer, well, because, they don't meet again until the fourth one or until our next fight. And then until then, it's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't make sense because if you put these characters here where they're not supposed to be, but the characters act like themselves, Vader will not just like, he will try a lot of things would have to happen to prevent him from trying to finish off Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Thing. I assumed.
Tell me one girl on a hill with the blaster stopped the number 2 Sith of all time.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, this is. I assumed when she said she had a pilot friend or something, I assumed that like the pilot guy was going to end up like suicide crashing into Vader, but Vader like force tosses it away or something, and with that, but like that taking concentration completely on that it's like, that gives Obi-Wan a chance to escape or something. Like the guy's firing lasers from his spaceship, and Vader's got to fucking try to, force something that takes his concentration away. But Vader can defeat it, but it's like he's got to concentrate on that. He can't do two things at once here with that.
Yeah, in the Disney Marvel comics for Star Wars, almost like the first run of Vader, there's this sequence, like, I want to say he gets like shot down, so the rebels like, we got Vader, surround him, and he like steps out, and he says, he makes some comment about like the numbers or something, and he's like, I'm surrounded by dead men, and he like slaughters like 100 plus rebels. and that's Disney canon, so it's like, you see Rogue One with multiple people with blasters down a hallway all pointed at him. And then it's like, oh no, a fire in my flame-retarded spacesuit, and to retrieve a crippled guy that I burned. And a girl shot at me.
Oh.
Guess I'll just walk away.
She didn't even shoot at him. She shot at the stormtrooper. One stormtrooper, and one. That was it.
This guy, I've been seething over every second of my life. I built a castle to stay angry at the point I lost my limbs and was burned to death almost. All thanks to Obi-Wan. And I got him in a force choke, a force grasp, and I just let him go. Like, you gotta have more to like, oh no, of someone used the force to yoink a wall out of the ground to block me or something. I don't know.
I thought Quinlan Voss was going to show up and help.
Yeah, like, why tease him?
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss. Is that a Mandalorian guy or something?
No, he's from the Jedi.
He's the
I'm
Apache.
forgetting who that is.
The Apache Jedi guy.
He's like kind of a wild. I think he's got dreads.
Oh yeah.
Yellow stripe across
jungle
his
jet.
face.
The jungle Jedi, I call him. Yeah.
Jungle Jedi.
Tarzan or whatever. I got you.
Yeah,
there's so many interesting things they could do if they wanted to have this kind of setup and still maintain stuff with like the original trilogy. That's what's interesting about prequels that you could do, but they put the stakes in the wrong place. They put the tension in the wrong place. They put the drama in the wrong place. They put everything in the wrong fucking place. So it's just like we're watching mundane things happen, and you can have mundaneness and still have like character, but like there's just not even that really. It's just like, you're just kind of around, I guess. Things are going around.
They clearly focused as much energy as they could on the females in this episode. And at the expense of the male characters whom which the show is supposed to be.
Feminine energy, Flip. That's what it is. You're an incel.
That's just me. I can't help it. I simp for the girlies.
Angus and I were like, our prediction is that like Leia at some point is gonna like Luke and Obi-Wan are about to be like killed, and then Leia like fucking saves them with the Force or something, like takes out like 10 stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Reva
Force
or something.
lightning.
It's just like she just crushes them with her power. She's just
and it's like such a hard thing for her to do that she forgets that she can use the Force, and she falls asleep and she wakes up in her bed on Alderaan, and they're like, "Hey, she's like, I had the weirdest dream."
Oh my god, I'm actually hold on. Just as you said that, it's like, well, I think it's weird that she's even with Obi-Wan at all right now, because based on how she talks about him in A New Hope, it's like, oh yeah, I've never met him. My father's talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi
years ago. You fought with my father in the Clone Wars,
right? But it's like with the way she's talking to him. One, I remember she called him Ben in this. Is she going to be that retarded where it's like, oh, I never knew that I interacted with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I only interacted with Ben Kenobi. There's some shit. Like, I never met Obi-Wan Kenobi. I did meet a guy named Bed, though. That was a Jedi. That was on Tatooine and stuff.
Dude,
where you happen to be.
This will be the twist. This whole time we've been watching his brother.
Again, you see, you're doing the same thing. It wasn't Obi-Wan, of course. That was his brother.
So that's why he's like, oh, Ben Kenobi versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. So there's two different people the whole time.
What?
and that just like the Grand Inquisitor, and then it's just like all these characters just reveal they have siblings that are identical. It's like, okay, really?
Flip, have you seen the leaked spoilers for the show? Did you ever look at that or watch videos about what this show's supposed to do?
Oh, like what they're expecting will happen? Yeah. A little bit here. I've caught some Doomcock stuff and other people. Yeah.
So you don't mind if I talk on that?
Oh, go ahead.
So apparently everything seems to be going according to the spoilers so far. So apparently the end of the show, somehow Reva figures out Luke is Anakin's kid, so Vader, and she's gonna kill him. So she has the Lars and Luke hostage on their moisture farm, going to kill them, lightsaber ignited, and she doesn't have the heart to do it. I guess she thinks about when she was a Jedi kid or whatever, and so she goes back to Vader and lies, and it's like, oh, I killed Obi-Wan, and he's like, I couldn't kill him. You definitely couldn't, because you're a POC woman, loser, and then kills her. And so it's like, wait. So Luke, when you watch episode 4, it seems like he's a total idiot about the Jedi and lightsabers. But apparently he's almost died at the hands of an Inquisitor with a lightsaber. So it's like, what is this?
Well, and he seems like he's never had anything exciting happen in his life ever.
Ever.
And it's like, if this happened, come on.
Yeah, if it happened.
It's like he was going to join the Empire.
It's one thing if he was like 5. I feel like you can forget a lot more things at 5, but like 10, no fucking way.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
No way.
You would have a clear memory of what happened. You'd be like, no, fuck this chick and lightsaber. Man, I was about to die. And it's like, Uncle Owen, fucking why? Like, I feel like it would be, you can't just go, shut up, son, you're a farmer at that point. It's like, no. Go to the Tashi station, bitch. Like, I don't think that's what would happen if that were the sequence of events at all. No.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I don't think that. Okay, so if that does happen, man, these people are even stupider than we are giving them credit for. But if it doesn't, I bet it's going to be something similar to that maybe that's the reason they had to extend the show out the way they did, is because they realized it was going to make it worse than it already is, so they had to fix it or something. I don't know, man. But the way that they have written things and the way they've executed, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to see, like, I thought it'd be interesting if Obi-Wan on Tatooine being the scum-ridden place that it's supposed to be, like, if he, instead of just being a hermit, like, sure, that's just a place that he hangs out, sure, but it's like, if he were to get into, like, underground fist fights or something, like, he's got to do different things. He does try to get different information, maybe he tries to leak out information to some people, but it's like, if he's more gritty here, like on Tatooine, after for the first 10 years on here, he's gritty. Like that's the one scene I kind of liked in the second episode, where he was sort of just right to the point and like threatening the guy rather than like talking about it too much. But I wanted more grit of, like, he's had to get in fucking brawls, and he can take punches, and he's had to learn how to fight without relying on the Force and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of interesting to where he's at right now, and like maybe he's the less Force in tune at the moment, and then whatever events happen here get him to kind of visit meditation and stuff and whatever, increase his Force abilities. But have him have him start as a grit guy, hardcore, no lightsaber, not really weapons.
You're pretty much talking about Iron Man 3. Make him work outside of his normal took for granted skill set.
Yeah. And it's like he used to operate on that he's a Jedi and he's like a police officer and whatever. And it's like, you're literally the opposite right now. You don't have the contacts you get are like Dex. Like, I'm surprised they didn't go to Dex, by the way. That would have been funny, I guess. But it's like, have him have, what if he even like met up, just, this would be kind of a dumb fan service thing, but could be made to be somewhat believable. Like, if he were to have met up with Cad Bane or something at some point, they've got some kind of like arrangement agreed upon or something. Like, and you could see, like, maybe they fucking, because you can assume they've gone through shit, especially since the Clone Wars and I don't know if he's in Rebels or whatever, but like something, you could add something there where it's like Obi-Wan's got more connections with bad people because he's had to live on Scum City,
Yeah. Oh, you know what would have been smart is, you remember he played in the Clone Wars. He played a bounty hunter. I can't remember the name of the bounty hunter.
Yeah, he played that one bounty hunter guy.
Yeah, that'd be cool if he used that persona on Tatooine.
That's actually not a bad idea, because it's like, you can't be Obi-Wan or can't be fucking Ben all the time. I'm just old Ben that lives out in the mountains as well. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go hunt down Leia, who's been kidnapped, and not let the Empire or whoever do it for Bail Organa, don't go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I feel like, I feel like that's also stupid. Yeah, that they reached out to him for it. I thought maybe it would be interesting if it was like he saw, if Bail was trying to find her and put out a message of some kind, and it's like bounty hunters or whatever are trying to, we got to go find this child that was kidnapped. There's a rich dude that wants to pay to get her back, and then Obi-Wan sees it on Tatooine. People would see it, and it's like, oh shit, I can't have all these fucks get her killed.
Yeah, that would have been
something like that. And then he takes initiative or something, rather than I don't want to do it.
Yeah, apprehensive and bitchy about it.
But at this point, we're just rewriting everything. So
that's true.
In a show where we don't even need to see anything, I'm okay not knowing any fucking thing he does.
I think, guys, the thing that I've decided in the last couple of episodes here of this Star Wars crap, Disney Star Wars, I've decided that the first 6 George Lucas episodes exist for me. I liked Rogue One, so I might let that in. But other than that, I mean, I'm willing to just say no to The Mandalorian too, because I feel like they screwed that up with Boba Fett for me. It was great seeing Luke come back, but then they really took me out of it with the whole Boba Fett thing. They ruined the character, and so I think I'm just sticking to, personally, episode 1 through 6. And maybe Rogue One, just because
I almost treat nothing as canon anymore, just because, as far as like, yes, they make the content, sure, but it's like, as far as what I take as, yes, that happens in the universe, I just go no on some things, because like they could just change their mind later, like with Palpatine, like with the Inquisitors, like with Ahsoka, they can change their mind whenever they want.
Yeah.
Well, if that isn't the Quactic calling the stifling slimy.
Ugh. Like I said, they are great at making cringy lines, though. Like almost better than the prequels at making cringe lines. Like
Yeah.
the prequel, but I enjoyed I do enjoy the cringe lines here and there from all this stuff. That's like really the one constant thing that I do enjoy. It's like, wow, these lines are really bad, really bad. That's about.
I enjoy watching this with Rookie because it's like, oh my god, this is so bad.
Honestly, I'm able to get through these because I can comment on it with somebody. If I was just sitting and had to watch it and nobody else to bounce off of, I'd be like dying in my chair, like, no. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, we don't always want to try to, be in the echo chamber sense of like, oh, we're just bitching about Star Wars, but it's like, I mean, we watch the show and we're watching the episodes, sure, and commenting on it, and I'll give any praise that comes up, but there's really not that much to praise with it. I mean, even the visuals and the settings are still kind of suck. Like they're all just, nothing is that memorable or stands out. And again, you think of the prequels or the originals, so many of the environments and locations they go to are like boom in your head. You can remember them very well. But with all these ones here that they keep on making, even in these shows, you think there'd be a couple of unique places that are like, wow, I want to go back here, or I want to, look at this as visually appealing in some way. I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Like I can't even give them credit for going to Coruscant. That's not them. Like that's not their thing.
I got a kick when you were watching. I saw it this morning, and it's like, all right, we gotta watch this today. And I was like, all right, I do like this alien here, the mole man, even though it's just a big mole. Really special. It's just a big human version of a real animal. Yeah, but he's like, oh, that'd be crazy, if it like, he gets scared, or something goes crazy, and he like, digs a hole, out of fear or something. And I knew what was going to happen where he gets bonked, and I'm just like, Rookie, this is Disney you're talking about.
Yeah, I was hoping that he'd like, as soon as the fire would happen, he'd just dig a hole in the ground, and it's like that's like an ability that his species could have, like they could dig really quick holes or something. But it's like, nope, he just gets bonked on the head, like Angus said. I'm like, oh, that's so dumb, and it's so dumb. I'm like, just you have an alien creature. Can you make an alien creature unique or something? Like, I feel like oddly this is one of the only, like, the mole thing is stupid. It's just a humanoid thing, but it's the best thing they have in terms of like a thing that looks alien, and in their show that like a kid could see on the shelf and go, that looks like a weird alien creature. That's in Star Wars. I might want to get that. Yeah. It's like the first one that could be construed as that. And it's like, what if it had abilities that could dig under the ground and, pop out from the ground and get you, It's like, that'd be a interesting species thing to do.
Yeah.
And I guess grab Leia and, Obi-Wan's got to like stab the dirt, try to find the fucking mole thing. That'd be silly scene, but, that'd be a different type of fight, I guess.
Yeah, would have been different. Unique.
But has a Jedi fight a thing that's in the ground that it's weird to sense or something.
Yeah, like what's the name of that? Tremors.
Like graboids. Yeah, that'd been fucking cool if they had a fucking graboid in this, but they're not going to do anything that cool.
It's nighttime on Tatooine. Do you know where your graboids are?
That's another thing, man. So some more commentary on the last ones we were watching, Flip, was like the giant creatures on all these desert planets. What the fuck? Like, how do you have this many giant things? The Machamp Star Trek thing in the Book of Boba Fett, the Dirt Dragon whatever thing in Mandalorian, it's all these sandworm these huge fucking things, and it's like, what do they eat?
What do they eat?
Just bantha and the fart camels? Like, those are like the biggest game I could see them eating, maybe. And I thought it'd be funny. It's like, what if they're all solar powered or something? Like they don't even eat any food. They just mill around and just get absorbed the sunlight. That's all I could think they could do to eat something, because there's nothing to eat.
There ain't nothing to eat.
Sand?
So what do the banthas frickin' eat? I mean,
But they showed like Boba Fett feed it meat and whatever, and they showed Obi-Wan feed the fart camel meat. It's like they eat meat. They can process meat. What?
Yes. What's
Really?
the natural order here?
Like, how do they get any food ever? I don't know. I guess it's all imported. I don't fucking know. But
Yeah.
it's like at this point, like there's not much to comment on the show anymore. It's just we're just commenting on things in general now. So
I
it's
know.
like, I don't know any roundup if we're gonna try to round out this stream here with Kenobi show. It's just meh. Like it's so pointless. It's just pointless. I don't know what else to say. It's just pointless.
I had such hopes because I told myself that this is my last, shot that I'm giving this stupid ass Disney franchise. Because how could they possibly, take this and ruin it? Because it'd be really shooting themselves in the foot for the last time. So I said, all right, well, let's see if the first couple episodes grab me. And well, man, it hasn't. So I'm literally I'm at the end of my rope with Disney Star Wars. They've lost me, and I don't know. Just so I can complain about it, I'll finish this.
Lost.
Then you are lost.
But that's it,
Yeah, it's been done with me for a while. It's just like I said, it's interesting to watch what they do and how poorly they do it, or how it could have been done better. I enjoy trying to find better ways they could have done things in their shitty scenes. Like how we've been talking today. It's like, if you just did this or that, or you could have done this and that. It's like, those could have been interesting. And then
it's disappointing because Deborah Chow a couple episodes of The Mandalorian that everyone seemed to like. So there's good faith built. So it's like, oh, let's check. She's saying some stuff. It's like, I'm just a director. It doesn't matter that I'm Asian. It's like, oh, thank God someone's not just going off the woke narrative, checking the box. Not touting like I'm a woman, I'm a yellow woman of color, whatever shenanigans. Like she's just like, I'm directing Star Wars. I'm trying to do good. It's like, cool. You did some good episodes. You had good faith from us, and it's like you're running this shit, and Ewan's an executive producer on this, and it's like they don't even care about Star Wars. Like they don't like. How hard is it to keep main continuity of 6 movies?
It's actually not that. So Marvel most likely struggles big time to keep track of all their continuity with like over 20 fucking movies. Star Wars has it easy.
Easter eggs, and it's like, oh, we can shoehorn this character here for the next film,
Right,
so
but it's like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like with Star Wars, you have 6 main ones. This should be simple. It should be very simple.
Should be.
I guess there's another funny thing. Angus and I were like, we're pointing out, we're like, oh, how many female stormtroopers can we detect with the thing? I think there's like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I could hear a couple of them in there.
It's just like what? Yeah, like Angus pointed out, it's like this Nazi faction essentially. Like they want to diversify it and have less misogyny in it or something. It's like what? Like so pretty soon in the 20 years, the KKK is going to be rocking their gay pride and have a lot more diversity in their ranks, probably. It's like, okay,
yeah,
I guess that's what they're going for now.
We're gonna have a black guy who's also gay.
He's like the leader,
as the leader of the KKK.
He's like the leader. He's like, fuck them other ones. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess progress. Is that what that is? Okay. Yeah, it's like there's so many opportunities where they could do interesting things or concepts, or again, I think the settings would help if they were interesting, but they don't utilize anything. They're just places where they can talk about things that don't matter, and that's like the worst thing I could think about as far as screenwriting and like directing a show. It's like if you're gonna have us take time out of our lives to watch something, for the love of God, please have some kind of meaning to it. Don't just, well, we're having conversation about things, but not really doing anything. That's just the worst.
Oh, look, lightsaber.
That's why I agree with Angus, where it's like, I'd rather be angry watching this, but it's like, it's just nothing's happening.
Yeah. I feel no passion whatsoever for this show.
Agreed.
Like, I can never watch it again and be okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's with most of the current Star Wars anything, to be honest.
Yeah. But I will say this, in preparation for this, I watched the prequels.
That's good. Wait, you didn't need the previously on hint at the first episode where it said previously on Star Wars or some shit? It was like,
I didn't know they were going to do that, man.
You remember the prequels?
And I enjoyed that nice romp through George Lucas's Star Wars. That was nice. And yes, cringy
in isolation, it's fine how it was done, but it's like it's just the concept of this is a Kenobi Star Wars show, and they have a previously on, like as if like people watching it haven't fucking seen the prequels. It's
previously on Star Wars.
It's like no, we don't need that. We're fine.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts, Angus?
No.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, Flip?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too, really. I guess see you guys later. We have a fan film watch premiering with a Star Wars fan film. That's my commentary with Justin Proper. They'll be premiering in about an hour from now. So if you guys want to catch that, that's where that'll be. And we'll see you guys later.
See ya.